Alrighty, this week we are coming up to midterms. So there is work assigned for this week, but the work that we're gonna complete this week will show up on your final, okay? So for your midterm mark, it will be everything up to this point right now, like today. It is Monday morning, November 6th. Everything we've done up to this point is what will determine your midterm mark. This week's work will show up on your final mark because I'm going to put all your marks together this week, so I don't want to have to, if you need a little bit time past this Friday or things like that to complete this week, you do not need to panic because it will show up on your final, not midterm. Which also means if you are a person who maybe has not handed something in from our past weeks, I'm going to say that's priority one, right? There is work assigned this week, but for your midterm, let's try to get all that past work done first. The nice thing about an e-learning course is you do get a little bit of flexibility in those timelines, but there are two times when that kind of comes to a crunch, midterm being one of them, where if you want to see what your total mark is, all that work has to be completed. And on that, so if you're a person who maybe has done half of the assignments, your midterm mark isn't going to be the greatest, even though on those individual assignments, you might have got a level 3 or a level 4. I am going to give you your total mark, what you have completed up to this point. I'm not going to give you a mark just based on the work you've done. Same thing when we get to the final. Obviously, all those, if you were kind of flexible with that timeline, it's a hard line of it's like, nope, we need to give you a mark. All that work needs to be in. Right, and I'm gonna say for, this is a grade 9 course, even though I may have some grade 10s or grade 11s in this course. For grade 9 in a high school, that's how it works, where it's not a year-long course, right? This course ends at the end of January. It's a hard stop. All work needs to be completed. Same thing as right now, it's a midterm. If you want to see what your total accumulated mark is, all that past work has to be done to this point. So use this week if you're a person who has not completed some of the previous assignments. Try to get them in this week by Friday. And if you're a person who is up to date, you're going to keep going on with the course, complete the landscape assignment this week, but that assignment will show up on your final report card. Okay, hopefully all of that makes sense. And for this week though, we are looking at landscapes. I'm shooting this in the morning and it is still dark outside, but eventually the sun will be up and we are gonna have some beautiful fall landscapes. So that is what you're gonna try to capture this week, is a landscape photo. And I have a bunch on my back wall here, maybe I'll pan to it in a minute. But when you are shooting a landscape, your main objective is to try to limit visual clutter. So what you are getting to experience is the landscape in the photo. You're gonna try to get a photo that doesn't necessarily have a lot of people in it, or let's say like a mailbox or something that is visually distracting to the landscape. You're gonna try to make it, and the fact that if you're, for Hamilton, we have the escarpment in the background or we have the lake. So we're kind of on both sides have a beautiful physical feature that you could try to capture in that. Or maybe just the fall colors. Maybe you're gonna go for a walk in the woods and take a picture of like a path leading through a forest with all the fall leaf colors. Would be a beautiful landscape photo. For your landscape photo, a couple rules that we're gonna try to follow in terms of our elements and principles and the rule of third and how you focus and center an image within it is try to use that rule of thirds, right? So if you have a horizon line, the horizon line will be either on the bottom third line or the top third line. And that might determine on, say, the sky. Say you have a sky that has a ton of beautiful cumulus clouds, white puffy clouds in it. Well, you might put your landscape, your horizon line in the bottom third so that you get a lot of that sky. But let's say the sky is overcast, it's not very interesting. You might put the horizon line in the top third, limiting how much sky is in your picture, more focus on the trees and the hills and the landscape in the background. So when you're using rule of third, kind of look at the sky. Does the sky have an interesting sky this day and you're gonna try to add a lot of it? Or is it kind of just overcast, one big cloud across the sky, you can't really see any details? Maybe limit it, put that into the top third. Other thing you're gonna do for this week is take the picture in 2 aspect ratios where you're taking a landscape one. Landscape, you know, when you choose it, is side to side. Landscape for a reason, because you're shooting a lot of that landscape, but you're also gonna take it in portrait mode. So you're gonna take a variety of different landscape photos using different angles, and you're gonna try to capture an image which will represent that, right? So if I'm taking one in portrait mode, straight up and down, maybe that's gonna be a picture of a tall tree, right? And I'm trying to show the height of the tree, and a portrait mode would be appropriate for that time. Because some of you, when you just take pictures, probably naturally always take it in portrait mode, or you might naturally always take it in landscape mode. For this project, I want you to do both. You could actually almost take the same subject matter, take one portrait, take one landscape, and see which one you like more and kind of explain why you like that certain picture more. Okay, it is fall, and if you can capture fall colors at the right time, either the picture can look amazing because the reds, yellows, and oranges are gonna seem super vibrant, or if it's kind of overcast, it might look kind of muddy, right? Fall can be either super beautiful or super muddy looking if it's not a vibrant red and that red starts to look like it's already starting to decompose and break down and it turns into kind of a muddier tone in the image. Try to see if you can find some bright ones, right? There's a couple trees out there that'll still have that bright red and bright yellow color scheme. Last thing, when you're going through the consolidation, when you get to the very bottom, you're gonna see it also asks you to define 2 words. I'm not gonna define them here because I want you to actually look it up. Is the blue hour and the golden hour, right? So look at those 2 things. When is the blue hour? When is the golden hour? What are the advantages to capturing an image during those times? Because remember, all we're doing when we take a picture is capturing light. That's what we're looking to do, is capture light. So if we can take a picture during unique lighting hours, your pictures are automatically going to start increasing in interest just based on the natural light that's out in the world, okay? I'm gonna step back because also there is, in that middle section where it's Minds On and Action, you are doing a discussion post where you're gonna look up a famous landscape artist. Ansel Adams is one of the original famous people who back in the day used to take it with film cameras and have to develop them, and he would go out to all these national parks all around North America and take amazing photos. That's in the Minds On reading. But try to look up a landscape artist, give a couple facts, and put it up into the discussion post so we get like a good bank of different photographers that have taken landscape photos over the year. Okay, so quick recap. Read the Minds On, which is about Ansel Adams. 2, do a discussion post about, could be Ansel Adams, or another landscape photographer. 3rd, you are taking landscape photos this week, portrait style and landscape style, talking about golden hour and blue hour and what the difference in the lighting is for those times. I'm going to be doing your midterms this week, so if you're a person who has missed previous work, you're getting that in this week. If you're a person who's completely up to date, keep on going, do the landscape stuff, but just know this project will show up on your final. All right, guys, have a good week. Try to get all your work done for all your classes because midterms will be coming up for all your classes around this time. All right, guys, later.